Delicate Excavation. And I also attempted to do the Good Things to Come trophy here also. Delicate Excavation is simple, and all you need to do is finish the ancient level right here, using only the white nozzle the entire time. However, the Good Things to Come trophy is much more difficult, and you have to complete an entire level to 95% completion without finishing any individual part of it. So you can't fully clean anything until reaching that 95% marker, pretty much meaning you need to be as careful as possible when squirting water everywhere, like True Hose do. And funnily enough, right away when starting this on my first try, I was wrong with the controls because it's been 3 months, as I said earlier, and I accidentally switched to the wrong nozzle, so I failed immediately and had to restart. God, this game is so much fun. I absolutely love it. I am definitely not being held hostage to say that right now. I believe I'm... Anyway, so then began the run for real this time using only the white nozzle. My strategy going into this was also non-existent because it was already like midnight or something and my brain was fried, much like my sleep schedule. But nonetheless, I began away squirting everywhere. I also messed around with the green switches in the game for some reason. I think I forgot you actually need to use the stroke gun or whatever for those things to work, but I also might be mentally ill. Also, playing this game again is like a damn bad dream. I swear, even if after a few minutes of the seething water sound hitting the dirty stone, I began to fall to the zombie trance. Not drinking, not eating, not even thinking, just pure power washing power. The true pastime of our ancestors. Around 20 minutes into this level, by the way, I finally realized the smart strategy of doing this trophy, and I tried to begin layers of dirt on body parts as to not have to worry about cleaning too much. And I gotta say, making some of these squares of closed off dirt was actually quite satisfying. Like, screw the rest of the cleaning, and if I could just do these all day, I would rather do that than actually clean the entire structure. Eventually, though, I did make it to the underside of this panel thing, and it's probably one of the most annoying things in the entire game. Especially since I need to make sure not to clean too much of all of them. But you pretty much just can't see or get a good angle on some of these figures, which makes not cleaning them fully very hard since you are just sort of spraying and spraying as they used to say in the good old days. Anyways, I have already grown bored of trying to explain what the hell is going on when you power wash things in this game. Because it's so simple. You literally just water stuff and the dirt goes bye-bye as you hear the subtle water sound. But I ended up being at 92% complete with this level before the most tragic thing ever happened, and it changed it. Meaning I accidentally just cleaned the finger fully and have now wasted the past 40 minutes of my life. And mind you, I also left a square of dirt above this finger, so I was very, very upset at what the hell just happened. But then again, if I just did this first try, got the platinum nice easy without any issues, then there wouldn't be this amazing content to talk about. So God's plan, I guess. Anyways, I then just finished the level off and the sour taste in my mouth from the future lab developers. I don't know who the hell they think they are. And yeah, there's the trophy for finishing the entire level using only the white nozzle. Easy comparison to Good Things to Come. I then went after a different trophy because I needed to breathe from all the BS that just got inserted into my specimen. And I did this very simple and very easy trophy called Head First. I'm not going to make a sexual joke, but that sounds like something your mom used to say. Nonetheless, the trophy requirement is much more simple than the previous two that told in my mind now. You just have to wash off the drill head and drill up this drill right here before anything else. And you don't even have to finish the level 4 at the top, so I literally spent 2 minutes doing this, and I got it. I wish everything was that easy, not gonna lie. I then tried to do the good old 95% completion trophy next again, because it was literally the only thing I have left before the wonderful platinum that has been haunting me for the past few months. So first I tried to find the smallest level I could, and I landed on this one where you have to clean the penny farthing. Not quite sure what the hell that is, but it looks like an autistic bicycle, so there's that. Now, obviously, this is the smallest level in the game, but does that necessarily mean it is the best for the trophy? Now, I can't really answer that because I failed it right away. And especially over the edge so much because the game does sort of give you grace and auto-clean tiny amounts of detail, which is nice when you're just playing, but not so nice when you're going for this damn trophy. Anyways, I then messed around with this golf cart level for a few minutes, but I knew going into it that it wouldn't work out. Sounds like my past few relationships before me, honestly. Anyways, I then did a last-ditch effort for the night and loaded up the stage one level because it looked big and was easy to avoid accidentally finishing the parts. And when I realized it was truly up, so I said, yes, I'm going to sleep. If that ain't the realest thing ever said in a video, I don't know what is. But don't you worry, I did wake up the next morning and immediately loaded up the game once more to finish this off because fool me once, shame on me, but fool me twice, and I'll probably get made fun of even more of my concept. Also, I did end up returning back to the big hand to do this trophy because it is the most recommended level. And it was honestly really great, is what I would say if I didn't literally fail right here at 26% completion because I forgot to look at the team meter, which is more than like 17. Also, I'm pretty sure I left a square somewhere for this finger, but who knows? Too late now. So I restarted the level once more, and even though it's 8 a.m. when I played this, I was already sick of this cold. It's way too early for that. So I tried again on the same level because why not? And it went much better this time. However, again, when I was at 63 or 60% completion, I ended up failing. But this time, it wasn't for the stupid finger that is hard to see. Oh no, it was the entire palm part of the level, which is giant. And this was some serious BS. Just look at how big the square I left to be shape was. Like, seriously, you can't make this stuff up. I tried as hard as I could to do it the smart way, and it just did not work. Stop the tap. This is indeed the reason as to why I made the executive decision to stop playing this level for God's sake and for my own mental sake. So I returned to the penny farthing level again and began the torturous thing all over. It's just a cycle of life at this point. Failure, 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 and eventually not failure. But I did fail my first attempt, by the way. Oh, and I also failed my second attempt, so the blood pressure is indeed rising. And by the third attempt, I also failed, but thankfully I didn't yell too much, so no brain aneurysms happened. And finally, I locked in for real and managed to get the trophy. I did it, by the way, from sectioning up areas on my blade, just like on the hand level, but this time I was just tapping. Oh, I was ever so tapping the triggers, trying my best to clean the most careful I could, which did indeed work, and I pushed past the 95% meter, getting me the trophy. And the good old platinum after all. I still want my wage though from this 9 to 5. This game sucks. Which is also the reason as to why I deleted it to the shadows instantly after getting the platinum. Please get the fuck out of here with that trash, and thank you all for watching. So they took some new games on the monthly games for PlayStation, and one of them was Powerwash Simulator. I saw this and thought it would be a swell time to try and get the platinum trophy on it. 43 hours later, and I can confidently say that it was not fun. At all. In fact, this was absolutely horrible. Anyway, today I'm going to be using the platinum trophy for Powerwash Simulator. The game has a total of 41 trophies included, and the biggest challenge of it is just beat the entire career mode because multiple levels take upwards of 4 hours to complete. We begin to grind by doing the very first level, which just has a big old blue van, absolutely smothered in dirt, diarrhea, and many other of which substances I imagine. But this is by far one of the easiest levels in the game. It only took me around 4 minutes to do, which is extremely light in this game. And after I cleaned it entirely, I received my first trophy of the day. Next level had you clean this entire backyard, which is quite the uptick in difficulty already. This is sort of how they do it in this game, however. First they give you a vehicle to clean, and then smother you with bigger and bigger houses or buildings. Anyway, still get trophies for every single level beaten, but I did finish this one after a total time of 1 hour nearly exactly. Also, I should mention that when you play this stop-taking game, time sort of slows down because you are quite literally just power washing buildings the entire time. And also the devs have super messed up bugs, and there's nearly never music, and some features in the future get ruined as you will see.
Why?
But the next level features an actual house this time, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Now, thankfully you don't have to go inside of it or anything, so it's just the exterior. But it still took me another hour to do, and I already want to put in my 2-week notice since this is starting to feel like an actual 9 to 5 job. But this time when I beat it, I did receive a trophy for beating this level. So at least I could feel a tad bit accomplished with my effort. Anyways, the next level was in the playground, and this is the only one so far that I can maybe believe it actually looks that dirty. As we all know, it can be disgusting and dirty, just like your girlfriend. But the hard part about this level was the getting yellow areas on the ground because the highlighting feature to see if you missed any dirt is yellow, meaning at some points I was just spraying water around like an old man with no clue where my red ass is. This level is definitely the worst one so far and one of my least favorites in the game. It ended up taking me a total of 1 hour and 30-something minutes to complete, which is just insane. Also, I cleaned a golf cart, which literally took 2 minutes, and I'm confused as to why they even have that level. It's retarded. The next level is actually on another house again, and it's pretty similar to the first real house we did in the fact that you only need to clean the outside. But before I cleaned it all, I got a trophy for doing the pavement first on the house. I was also not aware that this game's trophy list had things to do in nearly every single level, which makes me suffer in the future. So anyway, the next time another hour plus of time cleaning those done at house. Also, what the hell could you really done to make it look in such a way? I have no clue, but I don't even think science could explain it. Next level was a damn shoe house. Not sure what idiot made this, but it most definitely smelled like your mother. Anyway, the tool was rough just because of the angle you had to get in to actually be able to clean it. So overall, it just pissed me off because it's so stupid, and it also took me 30 minutes to do, which is time that I could have spent completely different and most definitely better. I then had to clean some vintage car that is probably older than I am, so basically it only took like 10 minutes to do, so I didn't age that much. We then had to do one of the longest and hardest levels of the game yet. My car. The skate park level. This level had me clean an entire skate park of debris and substances of children everywhere. Overall, it's one of the longest in the game, and it's also very boring. It took me just under 2 whole hours to clean this place. I'll feel that on express how long that actually is. 2 hours. That's insane when all you're doing is power washing a damn skate park in a video game. Eventually, however, we did get a trophy once we completed it, so I didn't throw myself out of a window. I then got a peaceful level where you just have to clean some autistic bikes, and it wasn't bad. The next level had you at some beach house, and you do the usual job, clean that hose. It took me an hour, and I no longer want to play this game. Next, I had to clean an entire fire station in this giant power side building creation. I thought my life could have possibly become any worse, but this really showed me how you can always go lower, no matter where you are. And I spent 2 hours cleaning this place. It got to the point where I no longer had the ability to create a smile out of my facial structure, and I am now seeking therapeutic help. The game does set us on an adventure to clean numerous vehicles. I would have really had to clean a load of cars, bikes, trucks, vans. It was a mess. And it even had us clean a helicopter, which once finished, I then got a trophy. The next level that had us go and clean the mayor's house, which was plastered in stuff. And once I finished it, I got a trophy also. I then had to clean some carousel surfacing, which is extremely annoying because of all the corners it had, and I wish it could have been more straight, if you know what I mean. That took a while, but honestly, I can't be bothered to remember how long these levels are anymore. They all just stuck. Sounds like ocean time. And then in the middle of me cleaning this treehouse level thing, which was the longest so far in the game, it got an update. So I had to restart all my progress in the level and redo it all. This same update also screwed up a lot of other things in the game, which hurt me later on. But I think overall I spent like 4 hours total on this level alone because I had to redo like 65% of it. Just to say that the size is getting fully now. Before, it was like an ex-girlfriend level, but now it's my entire set. I then cleaned the grill, the weird-ass cold house, an actual bathroom, more surface page, and a fighter jet, which I would like to hop into and head over to Powerwash Simulator headquarters. By the way, that publishing from Square Enix. You know, that studio that made the Avengers game. Not a shocker, it turned out to be another banger. Anyway, I had to clean up boat nets and then a weird cat monster truck until finally reaching a level where I had to clean an entire Ferris wheel. Eventually, though, after like 10 hours of pain and agony, I received a trophy for my endless suffering. And we have now reached the point in the game where we actually got substantial amounts of trophies for one. Next level, I'm pretty sure I did a bonus objective for a trophy, but I was basically cleaning some Mars rovers, and they even bothered to hide half of the objective off to the side out of view from me. So I had to wander around until seeing it and then cleaned it, which gave me a trophy. I then decided to go back and try to clean up parts of the game that I missed, which was pretty much every single trophy. And I could have gotten them all in my first playthrough, which was really just enhances my enjoyment of the game. The first thing I went after was to get 5 gold medals on challenge rounds in the game. These are levels we already did, but you have a certain talent or water constraint on it. And I got my first gold medal from cleaning a golf cart on the speed rush challenge. I know when I focused solely on doing speedrun levels for vehicles because I found those to be the easiest by far compared to the water specific challenges. This does not to be pretty hard and I struggled a tad bit, but after around an hour or so I managed to get 5 gold medals for the trophy. I then bought a ton of upgrades and whatnot for some more trophies in the shop section in the game. There was then a super stupid trophy where you have to clean the entire first vehicle using only the red nozzle, which is the smallest one in the game. But at least now we know for sure that they hate us. And I'm glad the feeling is mutual. I then had to replay a second mission and clean every on the walkway before anything else. Pretty self-explanatory and down on the surface. The next trophy, however, low-key made me angry, and I started to laugh to myself at how stupid it really was. You had to shoot the soccer ball up this slider in the playground, but for the life of me, the ball just didn't want to be a ball, and I lost it a tad bit trying this for like 20 minutes straight. I then had to replay the entire first tough mission in the game and not clean the gutters until the end. A very weird objective, to be honest, but also quite hard because I had to spend an hour again with this clean damn house. Gotta give respect to the power washes out there. This job sucks. And I then had to do the same task on a 2 level, but instead save the soul for the end and clean that all the way up. Back on the 550 level this time, and there was another trophy for only cleaning things with a red nozzle. Man, these developers really don't like us. What is even that? Thankfully, the next trophy was just for shooting a soccer ball out of a pit in the skate park, and it was pretty chill. I then went and cleaned every single window and mirror on the fire truck before anything else, which could have very easily been done on my first initial playthrough. But because I didn't raise the trophy list like I usually do, I ended up suffering yet again, which is just this entire game. So I was feeling sad and decided to just sit on this gay bike for a few seconds to cheer me up. Returning back to that treehouse level that made me want to die, and I had to clean all the lanterns first before anything else. Another super easy, simple trophy that should have been done first, if not for my negligence. I returned to the house after missing this time and cleaned all the blades off of it before anything else once more. This reoccurring theme is starting to piss me off, so I hate this game. But I got a trophy after for finally buying cosmetic items, which are almost as dumb as you dumb. I then had to do one of the worst replay levels and reclean the entire carousel level without turning it off. It takes me off extra since this is super easy to do at first, but I just didn't, so yeah, that's great. I then had to clean some other levels this time, but if you clean it all and don't shoot the gnome off the top, you will also receive a trophy in addition to I-8. I also got sent back into the proof bathroom and had to leave the toilet to last and maintain it for a trophy. This game is literally... But I also had to clean such poop.
Get a 20-pound casino bonus plus 150 coin spins when you deposit and play £1.
Off of this tower thing and only clean the lights off of it. So now the poop is extra visible to all. I then cleaned the alien modifications off of this jet, the tires off of this monster truck, and took a sweet little ride with a mill around the Ferris wheel. After that, I also completed an extremely difficult minigame in the circus fair thing, which was always impossible. And then I ran out of this trophies to do. And I had to continue the story again, wanting to die and more. Every single level now takes at least around 2 hours to do, and it's just horrible. So the first one back was the subway for me, and there's a trophy on it for cleaning all the advertisements off of it first, which I did because that's super easy like all the others I tried to do at first. I then spent, as I said, 2 hours on this level, cleaning it, and it sucked. I then got to a level with some ancient statue on it, and had to shoot all these buckets down around the area, which I did, but then had to groovingly clean the entire statue, and I also wanted to die like usual. I then bought every single item in the game and got this trophy after cleaning suffering. And I had a trophy with you to only use the white nozzle on this ancient pen level, and I did that, but the trophy didn't pop, so what the fuck. Anyways, we also made it to a level with some gay bow on it, and if you clean nothing besides the stash stairs in your butthole, you get a trophy. I was then on the final level for the game, which is by far the longest. You have to clean this mattress temple with 2 floors inside and out. It took me a solid 3 straight hours of playing with all gas, no brakes to beat this level. And once I did, the credits began to roll. The button suddenly crashed. This trophy was supposed to pop premium, by the way. So with the new Powerwash Simulator update, it glitched out that trophy again. It just happened before, and it's sort of a recurring theme to the game whenever you get an update. Anyways, I made sure to watch the credits again in the menu, but I received no trophy for it, which is just great. So I just spent 43 hours of my life going through this trophy, just to have it actually not work in the end. You know, this game, it just hurts. It hurts. I also think I spent more time on it than I did on Cyberpunk. Alright, so I'm currently trying to platinum every single type of EA game that there is out there, and if I can't do it before the channel hits 1 million subscribers, then my punishment is to have to platinum Fortnite, one of the longest, hardest, and most grindy games of all time. So make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Anyways, today's video is actually platinum trophy on Crisis 2. Now, this is the second Crisis game in the trilogy, obviously, and I did a first one quite a while ago now, so if you want to watch that and some other EA games that I've already made videos on, make sure to check out the EA games first I have on my channel. So Crisis 2 is about pretty much the same thing as first one was also about, the aliens and their invasion of Earth. Yup, it has been stopping after a few years after the game first took place. But in total, Crisis 2 has 36 trophies including the platinum trophy, which is very simple and short platinum, and also since we are playing the remaster, it is much faster than the original game. Due to the multiplayer on Crisis 2 being ripped out with the remaster. But starting off today with stage 1, the goal is to beat the entire story on super close to difficulty. You don't have to worry about pretty much anything that you play, because the game has zero mythical trophies and a very nice type of select after you beat the game. But the Crisis 2 story kicks off with a cutscene setting up the lore for our characters being named Alcatraz, a fellow Marine sent off to fight the aliens and rescue people in the middle of the takeover. And pretty much everything goes to hell instantly, and the vessel we were traveling on got blown up along with all the others around us, ending up ultimately with the entire platoon in the water, and Alcatraz can barely swim apparently. So we sort of drowned, or at least passed out. It is before the Crisis 2 dude just walks up to us, straight up aura farming in the middle of a battle. And he even gave the trophy on top of endless aura. You then wake up and you actually have his suit on. It's kind of confusing. But after picking up the pistol beside us, you see a little flashback to how we got the suit. And it turns out that guy in his suit was named Profit, and apparently he was used his hand with the name aliens and top stuff with the periodic mission. And the first major goal of the game is to find this scientist with the guy named School, who Profit also names up in his manifesto. You then begin the game due to play finally for good, and the game also does give us a little tutorials to the combat basics of Crisis. But since we are playing on super soldier difficulty, it's kind of a normal thing because the main method of using difficulty is to just use stealth and the invisible cloak on the suit. This is because playing super soldier difficulty is unironically hard as a motherfucker to beat if you go in guns blazing, and I pretty much just stealth the entire time I've been moving my hand numerous times in the first 10 minutes of playing. I did, however, manage to get a combat trophy already for just getting 4 headshots in a row because my aim is extremely good. Anyways, moving on, I eventually made it past that little enemy pile up and it progressed further. And Ghoul, that scientist guy, also started to talk to us because he was stranded to Prophet previously before he died, and he actually still believes we were Prophet. Apparently never talked to me of something that Prophet also did do before we saw like this kind of full manifesto, I guess. Anyways, a few steps forward, you reach the end of the tutorial chapter and had us look open the door to the safety battery charge back to the center, which was the area we just fought through. Upon doing so, you also get a full trophy with top right away. Continuing on through the stage, the game eventually gives you another suit upgrade to use being the armor mode, and this is good, I guess, but overall it doesn't really help all that much unless you're in like a super dire situation, because yes, it does deflect damage, however it's not anywhere close to invulnerability from dying, and in fact it makes you much slower, and I just personally didn't like using it is what I'm trying to say. Also, as you might have noticed, we haven't fought any aliens yet, and that's because we
Why?
currently after us due to what Prophet has done in the past. I can't honestly remember if he was a part of the first game or not, but whatever he did, it pissed off everyone, and they don't even know he was dead, which is why we are being targeted, so yeah, that's that. Well, like I said, Stealth is our friend, and I try my best to use that as much as possible, although fighting was required occasionally in certain moments in the story, both close to you two, or I just was common. After moving forward this downtown area, I also did finally reach alien contact, and these disgusting creatures are called the Death, by the way. Kind of a dope name, not gonna lie. But after you kill any type of them, you get given nano catalyst in varying amounts to level the enemy difficulty. The base stats give you 100, by the way, and then you can use those nano things to level up your suit after the task to enhance gameplay and make it easier for myself. Also, upgrading yourself for the first time is a trophy as you would expect. And once the aliens got introduced, it slowly became more and more of the focus we would go up against. Also, having a big mixture between aliens and enemy soldiers and cause for pure chaos that stuff while past the pretending it wasn't there, but enjoying every second of it, just like Gideon's cutout scene. And I also did take a break to go poop for multiple minutes while I played this game. I just felt like sharing that. I've been having digestive issues recently, and it might have something to do with having 245 trophies, but it hasn't been medically confirmed or denied. But after I did come back to play, I reached probably the most annoying combat is still setting up the game so far, near this overpass, train track, highway thing. I don't live in a big city, so I honestly don't know what you call all this construction besides wasted taxpayer dollars. But with my current stealth suit, I didn't have to get second marker, and I would end up getting caught over and over because there also wasn't any place to hide and not be seen. And that's another hard part about super soldier difficulty. If you even so much as get spotted on the tip of your head, the entire enemy force stuff that they are doing is collectively trying to push you. It's like we are cosplaying as Bonnie Blue and considering them part of London right now, filming a heat special. However, once I did figure out a good stealth trick, I managed to get the main concept across the highway, which would also then kind of crumble out beneath us. But the road was still so eventful, and 2 cars full of enemies pulled up forcing me to fight them. And you have to, or you will die. I learned that the hard way, but then thought, hey, why don't I just put a grenade in that? Turns out that idea was as brilliant as my 1600 perfect SAT score. And the grenade ended up destroying every single one of the enemies in front of me, giving me well over 3 kills of something called blast radius, getting at least 3 kills with the grenade. You then move more through the highway, and it was pretty easy to navigate with stealth due to there being a lot of obstacles scattered around. Eventually, you also do see the highway really deteriorate, and it's not going to be drivable for quite some time, I'm afraid. I then reached a little outpost with enemies. This is actually a very easy part of the game to get through, but at first I thought I had to steal this already manned tank because the game told me to get a vehicle, and it turns out you actually can't steal an already manned vehicle in this game, and I again found that out the hard way. But all lessons in life need to be learned through failure, and don't be afraid to fail, boys. Remember that. Anyways, back to the game, stealing a vehicle is super easy, and there's one literally parked right next to the main tank I tried to snatch, but it's just behind a wall, and once you do take it, you then have to break down the wall in front of it.
Alright, so I'm currently trying to platinum every single type of EA game that there is out there, and if I can't do it before the channel hits 1 million subscribers, then my punishment is I have to platinum Fortnite. One of the longest, hardest, and most grindy games of all time. So make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Anyway, today I chose to platinum Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Now before I get any comments about this game, yes, I know the servers are shut down and the 2 online trophies for this game are quite literally impossible to get due to this. But I did still want to play through the entire rest of the game because those 2 trophies are actually very easy to get and fast if the servers were on, and they aren't really the challenging or interesting part of this game regardless. Also, as I am making this video, EA just announced that the Anthem servers are also shutting down, and I ordered a disc of the game as soon as possible to make sure I could do that before it has the same fate as this poor game does. But Mirror's Edge Catalyst is the sequel to Mirror's Edge, which came out back in 2008. Why is every game I'm playing nowadays almost older than I am? Has gaming really fallen off that bad? This is tragic. This is awful. This is horrible. I'm gonna cry myself. Anyways, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, released in 2016. It contains a total of 50 servers with only 47 still being available. It took me a total of 23 hours to complete, and there are 5 stages to get this game finished with today. So, starting off with stage 1 features this feature story, which is very simply done due to there also not being any mythical trophies, which we love to see on the It's Illusion channel. I am also working on a Mass Effect video right now that will be released soon, and boy oh boy does that game visible fit me into this one right here. But the story for Mirror's Edge Catalyst follows a girl named Faith Connors, and after 2 years in Juby, she is just released back into the city of Glass, which is where the game takes place today. However, the city has been taken over by a new leader, and they sort of control everyone with no remorse or emotion, and it's overall just very sad and humanity to this point. On the way out of Juby, however, you run into a major character in the game named Icarus, who is a part of the Runners. That's also the faction that we belong to. The Runners, if you're wondering, are just people who run a lot. I know, it's a crazy description. And if I belong to a faction like this, it would probably be the Beaters, because I always be beating my penis. Okay, I don't know where this video is going already, but I can't control the impulsive thoughts being sent out. It's an issue. Anyways, as a runner, you just do parkour, and that's kind of what the Mirror's Edge games are all about. A ton of parkour, and then combat sprinkled in as you do the parkour. So we are kind of like the rated R version of American Ninja Warrior. Alright, so I'm currently trying to platinum every single type of EA game that there is out there, and if I can't do it before the channel hits 1 million subscribers, then my punishment is to have to platinum Fortnite. One of the longest, hardest, and most grindy games of all time. So make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Anyway, today's video decided to platinum another amazingly bad indie game from EA Originals, where the only thing original coming out of them is my pain and misery bleeding into the internet for you all to consume. But today's game is called Tales of Kinzaro Zao or some fancy, and I'm about to wreck up unlocked in Act 3 because that breaks through his shield and it just hits straight damage, so easy. This video is sponsored by EA. Alright, so I'm currently trying to platinum every single type of EA game that there is out there, and if I can't do it before the channel hits 1 million subscribers, then my punishment is to have to platinum Fortnite. One of the longest, hardest, and most grindy games of all time. So make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Anyways, in today's video, I got the Platinum Trophy on Split Fiction, the brand new game for developers of A Way Out and It Takes Two, that being Hazelight Studios and published by EA. And yes, you heard me right, ladies and gentlemen, the legends at EA sponsor your boy today, which is perfect because we are right in the middle of the EA Games Challenge on the channel, as most of you all know. But Split Fiction is one of the... Alright, so recently on the channel, we finished up the Rockstar Games Challenge, where I was trying to finish all of them before the channel hit 900,000 subscribers. And due to my insanely fast finishing abilities, I managed to do it just in time, and I won a challenge for once. Now, in the past on the channel, there's been numerous challenges, from LEGO to Ubisoft to random games, spanning across over a year now. And my personal favorite challenge that I've done is actually the Ubisoft one. Yes. Despite my hatred for the company, I did find that challenge the most fun. So I decided today and for the coming months I'm going to be doing another challenge, but with some games from another very well-known developer. That being EA. Electronic Arts, baby. Home to numerous games varying in love and hatred. EA is one of the most well-known companies in the video game space, and I personally love most of their games, with my favorite franchise being the Need for Speed series. Before this challenge, I did not grab every single EA game because most of them no longer work, and even a few on this list aren't possible to complete in 2025. However, I am still going to do all I can within the games to show them as much love as possible, even though they have been abandoned like I was as a child. But the goal is to finish every single one of these before the channel hits 1 million subscribers. And if I can't do that, then I must platinum Fortnite as the punishment. Yes, it got carried over from the Rockstar Challenge. But today I chose to platinum Need for Speed Rivals, which is the oldest available Need for Speed game on the PS5, and it's an absolute banger. I played this forever ago on my old Xbox 360 as a kid, and I had so much nostalgia playing it again today. In total, there's only 26 trophies, including the platinum. I had 8 starting off today from playing a long time ago for fun, and in total, it only took me about 27 hours to complete, but that would be much less if not for some issues that I had within playing it today. But starting off, I jumped in where I left off previously, and I was in the middle of finishing up the racer career inside of Need for Speed Rivals. Within the game, you can play as either a racer or a cop through their differing careers, and you are essentially rivals with each other, hence the title of the game. There isn't really a story per se, but rather assignments.
AI.
Over here.
Can you go turn on our production metrics? Well, he doesn't like allow. They're in the server room. Oh, thanks so much, but I'm good. When you need your AI models to train anyway, you need Red Hat. Keep your options open.
Alright, so in today's video, I got the Platinum Trophy on Doom: The Dark Ages, the brand new Doom game that just released a few days ago after over 5 years without a new Doom game. And boy, oh boy, did the developers at ID Software go hard this time. Doom: The Dark Ages is an absolutely amazing game, and I had so much fun platinuming this today. Also, this video is not sponsored at all because they don't like me, apparently. So all of my praises and compliments to this game are genuine, and I'm totally not trying to get in with ID Software in Bethesda. But if I were, I would really appreciate early access next time. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyways, the game's platinum is probably the easiest of any Doom game there is. It only has 29 trophies including the platinum, and there isn't any missable trophies because you can chapter select any chapter at any point, which is something that Doom Eternal was missing, and boy oh boy am I glad they added that this time. If you know, you know. But starting off today, the first stage is just finish the game while grabbing every collectible for the most part. You don't need 100% of everything. And at the final chapter, you can pretty much just skip out entirely on grabbing the gold.
Ça va te consulter en hauteur.